Hey, welcome back to the channel where we talk all things engineering, technology, and finance. Before getting into today's content, make sure you hit the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that way you're up to date on all the latest content that we post to our channel. And lastly, make sure you share the video with friends and family. As I always say, we don't want to hoard the knowledge for ourselves and we want everybody to learn. So let's jump into today's content. So if you may not know, I'm on travel right now and I'm actually visiting Minnesota, and I'm in my hotel because honestly, it is ugly outside. Let me show you what outside looks like. Look at this. Raining, snow, cold. It's just all muggy out there. I want to have a chat with you guys and gals. In this chat, it's just to expose you to something. Here's what I ask. Here's a favor. I'm going to say some things, and the things that I'm going to say maybe might rub some people the wrong way. But what I want you to do is I want you to remove me or what I'm saying from the picture, right? Focus on the message. What is this person telling us? Why is he telling us this? Don't get mad at the fact that, oh, well, what he's saying, I'm not even there yet, so who is he to question me or judge me or whatever? That's not the point. The point of what I'm about to tell you is, and I'm going to share the story with you, is so that way you can open your eyes and see what other people see that may be in different places in life. So anyways, with that little disclaimer out the way, let's jump into the story that I wanted to talk to you about. So on my way here to Minnesota, I was talking to somebody at the airport. It was two brothers, both young guys. One was 20, one was 19. They were talking to me about, what they're going to school for and what they're looking to do and so on and so forth, all that fun jazz. And I remember one of them specifically said to me, if I could make $100,000, I would be set. And the crazy part about that statement that he said was, and this is why I think is so hilarious, like human nature is funny. Like we all do the same stuff. We think we're the only ones who do it, but in reality, we all act the same in many ways. And the reason why I share that is because I said the same exact thing when I was in my 20s. I said, man, if I can just make $100,000, I will be set for life. And I want to tell you that if you make $100,000, it's not enough money. Yeah, let me say that again. $100,000 is not a lot of money. Let's do a little bit of math because the math will speak to you and show you why it's not a lot of money. Let's look at a little bit of statistics too. We can see how you stack up. The census.gov says that the median household income in America is $67,521. So that means mom and dad are working, or maybe one person's working, the other one's off work. For the purposes of our conversation, we can say mom and dad are working. Now that we know that the median household income is $67,521, and we're going to assume that mom and dad are working, right? Two people are working. What I'd like to do in order to illustrate how much $100,000 really is and what it really isn't, let's increase that because not a lot of people make that. But I want to prove this point here. So I'm going to assume that I'm going to give the family a household income increase, and the household income increase will be $32,479. So with this money increase, we'll put the family at $100,000. Also, to make it even easier, we'll say mom and dad are both working and they're making $50,000 apiece. So there's your $100,000. If you go to the IRS website, you can start to calculate from a federal perspective how much you're going to owe in taxes for this calendar year by inputting some numbers, and you will see that if you make $100,000 and you take the standard deduction, and the standard deduction I believe is $25,900. So after you do all your calculations on $100,000, taking standard deduction and having no other deductions and no other credits, right? We're going to make a lot of assumptions here, but obviously it's to make this conversation a little bit more simplistic and not make it so complex. But assuming that, you're going to see that your total tax obligation from a federal perspective is going to be $18,884. Okay, so now that we figured out that our total tax from a federal perspective is $18,884, I'm going to also assume that you live in one of the fantastic states that don't charge you any state tax, right? There's two taxes we need to worry about, and that's federal and state. But again, you live in this fantastic state where they don't charge you any taxes from a state perspective. So we're just going to assume that you're only paying federal. And again, remember, mom and dad are working at $50,000 apiece. So that's $100,000. We're going to subtract our federal tax obligations, and that's going to leave us with $81,116 left per year in order to do what we need to do as a family. If you go into Google and you research the average household size, meaning how many people are in a home, you'll find out that the number is 3. Now that we know that the average size is 3, let's take a look at what that would cost us in order to do what we need to do from a family perspective. The first thing you need to do is take care of you and your spouse. I don't know if you've ever been on a plane, but whenever they're doing that whole safety speech on a plane, they always say you want to secure your mask first before you secure the mask of others. So the first thing that we're going to do from a family perspective is we're going to take care of mom and dad, meaning you're going to have to invest in your retirement. To be honest with you, having your children as a retirement is not a good plan. So now that we established that we're going to take care of mom and dad and we're going to plan for retirement, if you Google what the contribution limits are in 2022 for a 401k, you're going to realize that it's $20,500. With $20,500, and you're going to do that for both mom and dad, because remember, we want an awesome retirement. We don't want to have our children as a plan, and we're not looking at Social Security. Social Security might not even exist by the time you get there, given how severely underfunded it is. That is a total of $41,000 that we're going to invest for mom and dad to make sure that they are ready when it comes to retirement. Now, if we take the $41,000 and we deduct it from the $81,116 that we said we had left over after taxes, that gives us a total amount of $40,116 in order to do what we need to do from a day-to-day perspective. Now let's talk about what are the next thing. One of the biggest things in our budgets that we always need to make sure of is housing. So you got to live somewhere. You have to either pay rent or you have a mortgage. This can vary widely. I'm going to use my case. So my housing situation, I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-family home, which I am renting at the moment. That cost me $1,250 per month. When you extrapolate what that is per year, it's $15,000 in order to rent, in order to have a place to lay my head and all that fun jazz. If we do a little bit of math of what we have left over, we have the $40,116. We're going to subtract the $15,000 from that. That leaves us with a total of $25,116 left to spend for the entire year. Now, we haven't talked about food. I know a lot of you like to go out and eat every day. You always want to go to Chipotle. You ask for the extra guac. We're going to assume that you do what I do, which we feed our family 3 times a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but we do that in our homes. We make all of our food. So total cost for food and household items, say you need detergent, toilet paper, all that stuff, is a total of $9,000 is what we spend for the entire year in order to feed our family So now that we've gotten down and realized, okay, we're spending $9,000 on food, and we subtract that from the $25,116 we have left over, that gives us a total of $16,116 in order to do what we need to do from a life perspective. Here's another big line item that is in everybody's budget, and not everybody's fortunate to be able to have this, is childcare. So we assume that because we have a household income of $100,000 and it's mom and dad that are working, right? Who's going to take care of your child while you are working? Now, I know a lot of you have the luxury and privilege of having family where grandparents can come and take care of the kids, or maybe you have a sister or a brother who can help you out. Not everyone is in that position. And in our case, we have to pay for childcare, and I'm going to assume that you're going to be doing the same. So with childcare as a cost now, for one child, again, household of 3, and we're a household of 4, so we actually have more expenses than this, but I'll give you an idea of what that childcare cost is. For my daughter to go into a daycare / school that we put her in, it's $270 per week. That $270 per week translates to $14,040 per year. Now, if you're following, let's do some more math and see what we have left over. So if we had the $16,116 and we subtract the $14,040 that we have in childcare costs, we're left with a grand total of $2,076 left to spend for the whole entire year. Now that we have $2,076 left for the entire year, there's a lot of other things I haven't mentioned. Let's say you need to get back and forth from work. Do you have a car payment? Let's say you own your car. You still got to put gas. You still got to have insurance on the actual car itself. What are some of the other expenses that you can think of that happens in life? Maybe you want to take a vacation. I don't know about you, but just in plane tickets alone and a hotel, you can easily blow $2,000 and have no money left for the entire year. I still haven't talked about some of the insurances that you have to have in place in life, right? You need to make sure you have life insurance. Let's say, for example, your kids, they want to participate in sports. You need to buy cleats, you need to buy basketballs, you need to buy jerseys, whatever it is. Let's talk a little bit more. We haven't even talked about, when we looked at, say, housing for $15,000, I didn't talk about the utilities that go along with it, right? You still have to pay for gas, electric. I didn't talk about, you need to communicate with people. You need a cell phone. Internet is important nowadays in order to be connected, to learn, to work, to play. And so when you start to add all these things up, $2,076 is not a lot of money left in order to do what it is that you need to do. You may be asking yourself now, okay, Lewis, I hear you. If you make $100,000 between mom and dad, and that's your household income, and that's not enough, what do we do? And this is where I tell folks all the time that you need to start increasing your skill sets in order to make a lot more money, because $100,000 is not a lot, and it's not going to carry you very far. My hopes for this video is that you heard the message, you didn't get offended by what I said, and you don't think anything less of yourself. And if you're not there yet, no worries, you can get there. What I hope that you took from this video is that you see, wow, no one's ever explained it to me this way, and no one's given me the opportunity to see that this number that I think is so great and that I'm going to be set for life with, that it really isn't enough. And you have to factor all these things to realize this. So after I broke all this stuff down for the 2 young gentlemen that I was talking to, it really started to dawn on them that, wow, this number isn't a lot. And it made them think a little bit differently as to what they want to do in life. Now, I hope that did the same for you, and I hope that you're able to take this knowledge now and move with it a little bit differently and see how you can apply different things in your life. But I want you to see that there's more work to be done, and being complacent at a 6-figure salary is not enough to get you by. There you have it for today's content. Remember, don't forget to like the video, and as we mentioned, subscribe to the channel so you're up to date on all the latest content that we post to the channel on all things engineering, technology, and finance. Finally, don't forget to share the video with friends and family. We always say this, we don't want to hoard the knowledge for ourselves. We want everybody to learn. So make sure you share the video with friends and family.
and we'll see you on the next video.